Audrey, it is a pleasure to have an old friend join us here for Pepsi Sports Saturday, the new head coach of the Ohio Bobcats, our buddy Jeff Boals. We've known him how long have we known each other?
Long time.
20 years, maybe?
I didn't have gray hair then.
I actually had some hair back then. You were an assistant coach at Marshall coming up. You had a great playing career at OU, and you got started in your career very quickly, and now you're the head coach at your alma mater. That's a great rise. It's been a long grind, but I'd imagine a very enjoyable grind too.
Yeah, I'm starting year 25 next year coaching, and hard to believe, going from playing to coaching. I wanted to be a physical therapist and tore my ACL for the third time. Coach Hunter, my college coach, had an opening on staff, asked me if I'd be interested in coaching. Had no idea what it meant, but I said yes. And 24 years later, it kind of came full circle, and here we are. Pretty
amazing story. You played with some incredible teams at OU, NIT winning team. Gary Trent was there when you were at OU. And that's the golden era I think people look at right now. And then obviously the era a few years ago, they made the Sweet 16 run, played North Carolina. There's obviously room for a new era, and that's, I know, what you're working to build. How do you go about doing it? What's the first steps in the process of making OU great?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is, you worry about the team that's there. They're fragile 18 to 22-year-olds anytime there's change.
Right.
So those are your biggest recruits. And, lifeblood of any program is recruiting. And I've learned a long time ago, the better players you have, the better coach you are. It's amazing how that works. And, we want to look for high-character young men, love the game, serious about their degree, who are going to represent Ohio University on and off the floor.
When you're here at Ohio State as an assistant to Thad, how important is it to you to have that relationship with Thad, his expertise, and do you still rely on him and his wisdom and his guidance?
Yeah, I do. I mean, Thad, obviously winningest coach all time in Ohio State history, and phenomenal person off the floor. Better person than he is a coach, and he's an unbelievable coach. And he's a huge mentor, and gave me an opportunity to come to Ohio State, which is at the time was my dream job, and worked with him for 7 years. And I talked to him, once a week. He helped me through this process, and was very big on the whole thing.
You then, when you left Ohio State, you went to Stony Brook, became the head coach at Stony Brook for several years, and you really did a great job of that program, Jeff. You got them on the map. You got them moving toward tournament basketball, and a program that I think you're very proud to leave behind and what you accomplished there. What were some of the things you noticed? When you're sitting in the assistant chair role and then you go to the head coaching role, there are things maybe you see that you didn't see before. What did you see?
It's completely different, and there were a couple of times where I called Thad up and I apologized to him. I'd be a way better assistant coach right now. Going through the whole, dealing with every recruit and situations and offense, defense, and it's so mentally exhausting that you have to be on point. Like every great coach and CEO, you're just as good as your assistant coaches and the people around you.
Obviously, recruiting's key one. Is there something else that's critical to the success at OU?
I think if you look across the board in the MAC, they're putting money into the programs. You're buying games, getting home games, and your RPI, I think they were 7th this year,
right,
which is probably the highest it's been in a long time. And if Buffalo didn't win the tournament, they probably would have got an at-large bid. And back when I played, you're getting 1 or 2 teams in. Back in the 90s, and that's what you shoot for. But it's a very competitive league, top to bottom, and you have to recruit well and understand what you're facing.
Rapid fire Athens questions. Best college bar in Athens?
The Pub.
The Pub, no doubter. Best late night food in Athens?
Oh, Burrito Buggy.
Burrito Buggy is a no. You passed that was a 2-question quiz. You nailed them both in like 2 seconds. I also want to ask you about that. I know you can't go into specifics on recruiting because you can't identify specific kids, but the Central Ohio area is loaded with Division I talent that you would love to have, understandably so. Can you explain about when you coach the namesake Ohio University, what it means to have Ohio kids, specifically Central Ohio kids?
Yeah, it's huge, and like I told our team, I lived it. I lived in the dorms and walked the same streets and played on the same floor. And Central Ohio is huge. There's a lot of talent, a lot of great coaches in the area, AAU teams, and we're going to live up here. And it's an easy drive, hour and 10 minutes, down 33. And no reason why we shouldn't be able to get some of those kids.
Yeah. I've had a chance to know a lot of great coaches and a lot of great kids, and covering college basketball for all these years. Boals's one of the best, and I could not be happier to see a guy get a great opportunity at a great school, and you're going to do awesome.
Appreciate you.
Jeff Boals, the new head coach of the Ohio Bobcats. Audrey?